Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. Happy Sunday to you. Hope you have a lot of NFL games to watch today and lots of fun stuff. The Cowboys are off, so I can just chill today. Um, Man, what a great weekend that we spent at the Dallas Card Show. I have literally zero footage from the actual show because it looks like every other Dallas Card Show. It would be total rinse and repeat. You want to see what the floor looked like? Go look at any other videos I've done on the Dallas Card Show, etc. Nothing new to see there. It was interesting. Beckett was there grading on site. There were some other grading companies there. Whatnot had a big presence doing breaks and stuff, and people, doing live feeds from there. So that was kind of cool. The best part of this weekend was Dave and Caden were here. Dave, Blue Jacket 66, of course, was here with his son, Caden. And he's not in the room, so I can say all this right now because it would embarrass him otherwise. But Dave is salt of the earth kind of guy. He and I just get along so well. I consider him a very good friend, and I consider him kind of a mentor to me on the hobby. He just knows so much. He's just great, and he's sarcastic and fun and snarky and all those things, and it just fits right in with my personality, and we have a really good time together. And I think Caden had a great time at the show and loved having him at the house this weekend. They're still here. They're just in the other room talking to Julie. And so I'll have Dave here in a minute. I think I'll try to call him in and have him sit over here, and he can tell you his thoughts on the show. But it started out Thursday. They, picked him up from the airport. Thursday afternoon, we came back here, looked at some cards, but I was still feeling pretty bad. I was not myself. I was just still feeling sick. And turns out I probably had the flu is what we're kind of coming to the conclusion. I never had a flu test, so I don't know for sure, but everything points to that. And Dave's a doctor, so that's kind of what he thinks too. And so anyway, we had a great time hanging out Thursday, but went to bed super early. And that was probably a good thing on Thursday. But he looked at the cards and hung out. We did that. We shot that video that aired yesterday on my channel. Friday, we wake up, head to the show pretty early. Got to see Andy, of course. She blinded me with refractors. Andy and his brother Brian, they were there set up. And so what's great about having them set up is you have kind of a home base, right? You can leave your backpack or whatever and not feel like anything and just walk around and not have to lug everything with you. And a place to go and sit. And that was great. Friday was a weird day at the show because it was really stormy. Like there was supposed to be severe weather, and there was in the Dallas area. And so I think that affected the crowds. It was really light crowds on Friday, which was great if you're walking around because there's just not a lot of people in your way. But it was, I think, more a testament to the weather, because Saturday totally changed that. But Friday, walked around, didn't see a whole lot. Prices, there was a lot of vintage, more than I've seen in past Dallas shows, honestly. But the prices were still just kind of crazy. I only picked up 2 cards on Friday, which I'll show later, all the stuff I picked up, which isn't that much. It's a small stack. 6 cards. I'm looking at them right now. But the best part about Friday at the show was I was felt okay early and then just went downhill quickly. And I was so exhausted and just tired and eyes were heavy and all that. So I crawled under Andy's table. They have these, it's a table with a big black tablecloth on it, essentially, that went to the floor. So I crawled under there and rested my eyes, so to speak. And it was funny because I'd be down there and I'd hear him talking upstairs, and I'd go, "Hey, yeah, blah," and you had to be there. It was funny. But I crawled under there, and everybody's like, "Why are you crawling under the table?" I was like, "Because it looked comfortable." And it's quiet, or not quiet, but it was dark. And so then we made the long drive back. Believe it or not, it's a haul. I mean, it's each way, it's about an hour and a half almost to go to the Dallas show, which is weird. It's a local show, but not right around the corner. So we get home, and one of the coolest things was I get a text from Jimmy Guns. And if you guys don't know Jimmy Guns, great guy in this community, good friend. He's been to the house. He's a great guy. Love him to death. And he ordered for me some faux soup, which he's like, hey, if you're sick, it's on the way. I've ordered it for you. It's coming. He had to go through an ordeal to make that happen because he had some issues, but he did, and ended up getting this awesome soup. If you've never had faux soup before, it's like this broth that is so strong and salty and awesome. And then you put in different meats and vegetables and whatever you want to make it into, and you eat it. And man, it hits you. It's good. But the fact that Jimmy would do that and go out of his way to do that was way above and beyond, and a testimony to the kind of guy that Jimmy is. So Jimmy, thank you. That was so awesome. But went to bed pretty early again Friday night, probably 8 o'clock-ish, 9 o'clock-ish. I was in bed asleep. Sorry guys, I actually sound worse than I am right now. I'm way on the right side of this, but still fighting it a little bit. Then on Saturday, yesterday, woke up feeling almost normal. I mean, other than the lingering cough and my voice kind of going, felt pretty normal, felt really good and excited. And so we took off. The show is super long on Saturday, like 9 a.m. to 6, and then they have trade nights and all that kind of stuff. So you could be there umpteen hours if you wanted to. But once I got to the show, I was able to have a little more focus. I was able to really deliberately walk around the show and look for stuff. The crowds were way bigger. It was packed on Saturday. I mean, awesomely packed. What's cool also on Saturday is you have football, college football going on. TCU was playing at 11. And so we listened to the game. We didn't get to the show till 12:30 or so. So listened to pretty much the whole first half on the drive over. And then was able to watch it. Andy's table, where he was, a guy across from him had a TV set up with, we just asked which game we wanted to watch. And so we were watching the TCU game, and TCU was struggling. So I'm going to go walk around. Excuse me, guys. And then hunt for cards, and then come back and check on the score, and following all along on my phone as I'm walking. But that was a lot of fun to see all that. And TCU ultimately was winning. I was walking back at the end of the game, and Bob Lilly is walking towards me. I'm wearing a TCU sweatshirt. And Bob Lilly, former TCU alumni, great Cowboys legend, is going to do his signing. He was there signing autographs, and he was walking towards me. Saw, hey, how's the game going? And I said, we're winning, Mr. Lilly. It was so weird to have this encounter with Bob Lilly just in the hallway of a card show. And he said, how much time's left? And I said, I don't know. And he stopped, and I pulled it up on my phone and showed him there was like less than 2 minutes left, and TCU had a good lead. And I said, we got this in the bag. It's all good. He's like, we're really good this year, aren't we? And I said, yes, sir. We are really good. It was just kind of this surreal exchange with Bob Lilly about TCU football. It was kind of fun. And then all the other games yesterday were great, getting to watch those and walk around the show and then come back and sit down. And it was just a great deal. So we stayed till it closed at 6, because we had an invite from Dr. Beckett to go to his house, which was a surreal honor to be able to go to Jim's house and look at his collection. He ordered his pizza. He was so gracious and so amazing, and he's so nice. And yeah, I mean, and to see his collection and see the stuff was just, Dave and I, and Caden was great. And so Dave and I were just like going, holy moly. I mean, it was just great card. It was pretty awesome. And I just want to thank Dr. Beckett. Thank you, Jim, for having us and getting us pizza and all that stuff that you did. That was just awesome. We got to talk cards and talk the industry and everything. So overall, had a great weekend and just had so much fun. And I didn't even pick up a ton of cards. That it was just about everything else. It's just about the experience. Card show is always fun. So let me see if I can't get Dave in here. I'll wrangle him in here, give you his thoughts on the show, and then show you the stuff that I got. Hang on one second. All right, so I'm back with that guy, Dave Berg, Blue Jacket 66. Did you have a good weekend?
I had a fantastic weekend. Most of the fun was outside the show, just hanging out with you and at the house and going over to Dr. Beckett's and chatting with Julie and having a lot of donuts and good food.
We did.
It was a good time.
Did Caden have a good time?
He probably wants to come back next weekend. He had a great time. Already talking about the National. So he was very impressed by the Dallas Card Show for sure.
What were your thoughts of the show overall? Friday, differences from Friday to Saturday, maybe?
Friday was thin, and I think we talked about it and blamed it perhaps on the weather, and it was kind of a late afternoon start, but it was really thin there, and I didn't see a ton of activity. And I'm not even positive that all the dealers were completely set up when we were there.
Definitely true.
And then Saturday, there was a lot of foot traffic. I describe it as busy, not as busy as it was last time I was here, which was May of 2021, I think. But it was very busy. But I saw, I think, a better selection of cards compared to last year. I think that there was more vintage there. And I think that there was more non-sport and early 20th century historical stuff. So there was a fantastic selection, a really good selection for really the whole breadth of collectors. I did not see, however, a lot of transactions going down. I wasn't looking around and seeing the old cash on the table and the trade boxes open, a lot of trading going on. So I think a lot of people were like me, that they were there perhaps wanting to buy or wanting to sell, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, I saw the same thing, or lack thereof, I guess, is probably more accurate. I didn't have to elbow with Pelican Case boys or anything to get to a table. There just wasn't a lot of activity happening.
The other thing I didn't see a lot of the, well, just quote unquote influencers or YouTubers with their entourage. I mean, I saw some people making videos, but last year it was like you couldn't squeeze by them. And this time I honestly don't recall seeing an entourage, where you got the 3 or 4 little guys scurrying around at the camera and the other guy mugging for it. But I didn't see a lot of that at all. But it was a great card show, I thought.
Yeah, we had a good time. You didn't buy anything for yourself. Caden got a haul, which Dave will show some of the Caden stuff, especially the Star Wars stuff he got was so cool.
Yeah.
Got some unique stuff that was really special. And then we went to Dr. Beckett's house, which was, I was talking about that earlier, being a kind of surreal moment, like and he was so great and gracious. And
yeah, he's a knowledgeable man who is an icon in the industry, which makes even seasoned collectors look amateurish in his knowledge and the breadth of his collection. So he was very, very gracious, and that was if you're in an intimate setting with someone like that, that's gold. It's gold. I mean, it's quite different than sitting around talking with 10 people and everybody has their thoughts. But if you catch someone like that, where you can just sit down and talk to them, and they pick your brain and you pick theirs, just those opportunities like that don't happen very often. It's pretty priceless.
For me, one of the cool moments of the Dr. Beckett exchange was seeing him make the connection that your dad was the guy that made the 53 extension set.
Yeah.
And then y'all talking about that story and him getting even more, not like even a guy like Dr. Beckett learning more about things and expanding his knowledge was really cool. And you're giving firsthand account of that through your, of what you and your dad did with that extension set. And just, that was a thrill for me just to watch you.
Me too. I mean, conversations like that really mean a lot to me.
Yeah, because you get to relive it and make the connection with your dad. So anyway, so glad you and Caden were here. And
It was great, and it was great seeing Andy. You know, it's always the top of the list for me is to see him and hang out. Next time we'll have to spend more time with him and spend the evening with him and have dinner and whatnot.
at least your pickup video will be very short,
It will be very short.
like non-existent. He didn't.
But I'm pleased because at some point you come to the realization I haven't bought anything, and you really get your wallet gets itchy, and you say I need to come away with something, and I did not.
You resisted that temptation.
Yeah, well, yeah, I just wanted. There was a couple things I was looking at to make deals on, and it didn't happen. And I was looking to, since I wasn't strongly needing to buy or wanting to buy, I wanted to try to get a deal on a couple cards, but it didn't happen. But I tell you what, getting those things for Caden was far more pleasing than buying for myself.
Was it lack of finding things or lack of dealers willing to deal, or both?
I think it was lack of finding things, to be honest with you. And and some of the things that I did find, I did not find the dealers seeming desperate to get rid of their vintage product. I mean, I think that shows that there's a degree of stability in the vintage market, at least. But I didn't see a lot that I had to have. But it was kind of a mix of both. If I wanted to get something, I want to get a little bit of deal because it's getting toward the end of the year, and
Right.
there's some things I want to probably pick up later.
Well, again, Dave, I'm so glad you came. That made it for the show for me. It makes it way more fun to share that with friends like you
Sure.
and other guys that come in for shows. So thanks for coming. Now we'll flip this around. I'll show you guys what I did pick up, because I did pick up a few things.
Yeah, I did.
But nothing huge. Show you guys in a second. Hang on. All right. Here we go. Again, not a ton picked up. Day one, again, I wasn't feeling great as good as I did on day two, but I did find a couple things. First card I bought actually was this card. 72 Topps Joe Morgan traded. I don't go rummaging through stuff. I'm kind of a showcase looker, and this happened to be in somebody's showcase, and it's a relatively cheap card. I think he had it marked at 100, and I paid 75 for it, which is fair. This is a high number, 72, and I didn't have it, so pick that up. Joe Morgan, PSA 7, and then I got this beauty, 1952 Bowman Warren Spawn. This was from a dealer, and I apologize, I can't remember his name because I know he'll watch this video. But he watches the shows and the channels, and he had great stuff. And this was a card that I needed. I didn't need a 6, but he gave me a deal on it that I couldn't refuse. So I ended up buying this beautiful 52 Bowman Warren Spawn in a 6. I have one of these at PSA currently. So I'm trying not to buy these cards, but because I'll get one, in a few years whenever PSA finally grades them. But I just couldn't pass this up. It was too good of a deal. And so that'll give me a double when I get the other one, and I'll figure out what to do with it, because it will not grade a 6, I promise. So glad to add that. Never bad to add some cool 50 stuff. Then on Saturday, shows make me buy stuff that I never would look for on my own, which is actually a good part and a bad part. But saw this guy, he had a Troy Aikman autograph, and I just, saw it. It was kind of a cool looking card. Gridiron Kings, similar to kind of Diamond Kings. This is a new card, like 2020 or something, but number to 25, Troy Aikman autograph, Cowboys, football season. I was in the football mood on Saturday because TCU had won and all that. I don't know. So I picked that up. And then filling a few holes here. George Kell, 1952 Topps. Never bad to buy a 52 Topps. This one was pretty well centered. It's a PSA 4, but it's old slab. There's no way. And the slab was cracked. It actually didn't even, it's kind of cracked a little. Not the end of the world, but it doesn't hurt the card or anything. But there's no way this would get a 4 today if you sit it in. But the price was right. I mean, it was priced much lower than a normal 4, so that was good enough for me. I didn't have this card. 61 Topps Mickey Mantle MVP, PSA 4. I have, playing days mantles are great. This is kind of a subset from 61 Topps, the MVP set. And I just hadn't picked up the mantle yet, so got this for a really good deal as well. And then the big card that I picked up, I always tried to find a big card. I don't have to buy a bigger card, I call it. But this one I saw in a showcase and ended up picking it up. 1938 Gaudy Bob Feller. This is a card I think it was in my top 10 cards I'm looking for. This is a 300 great card by Mike Payne card. This one is the with squigglies or with writing, whatever you want to say. It's a 1.5. Definitely deserves the grade. Probably, I'm shocked it's a 1.5, honestly. But this card was the only one of these I saw. I mean, look at that roached corners. But one thing Dave said about it when he looked, I called him over to look at it and kind of talk me out of it if he needed to. But the wear on this card is even wear. And so when you have a card, you want it to be uniformly screwed up, if that makes any sense. If it's got bad corners, you want all the corners to be bad. If it's got, which sounds really weird, but sorry guys. Yeah, it's uniform. It's pretty well centered, and so loved picking that up. This is a big card. I mean, this is a comic card. I think the guy had 1,200 on it. I ended up spending $1,040 on this card. It was weird. 1,040. Like, okay, fine. Like, I'm not gonna quibble because I offered 1,000, and yeah, ended up getting it. Glad I did. Love it. So that is it. That's all the pickups I had from the show. Thanks for listening to me drone on about it, and had a great weekend. And yeah, we'll catch you guys soon. Thanks to everybody that I saw there, said hi to me, and talking about chasing cardboard or on the fly or any of that stuff, the podcast. Everybody was great. So thank you guys for the continued support. We'll catch you guys soon. Keep collecting.